Hello, this is Ryan Spring from Tohoku University, and today I'm going to show you how to use this little bit of code that I made to make a foreign language speaking homework. Specifically, this one is for English teachers. If you speak Japanese, you can find the video and the link here. This is my website. This is where the code is. If you're a teacher at Tohoku University, you might find this same file inside of your shared materials folder. Either way, the code looks very similar, and the way to use it is the same. So let me explain. First, open your file, whether you're getting it from the shared materials folder or from my website. Okay, you can see the links for the videos for the detailed explanation, and then you can see the brief explanation. So I'm going to teach you how to use this code. We're going to do it step by step. Please pause the video as you need and follow along. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. The first thing that we need to do is open a new Google Sheet and name the main sheet Answers. So go to your Google Drive, and inside of your Google Drive, somewhere, anywhere, right-click to make a new Google spreadsheet. Okay. Then, as it says here, I have to name the main sheet Answers. I can do that by clicking here. At the bottom, you can see the sheet. There's a triangle next to it. I can click Change the Name. Sorry, my computer is in Japanese, but that says rename or change name. And you want to call this sheet Answers. Exactly like this, capital A, lowercase n, s, w, e, r, s. If you name it anything else, the code that I have right now will not work. Now, you can also name your spreadsheet. You can name it whatever you like. Okay. I do recommend the first row to go ahead and write what kinds of things we are going to have here. Date and time, student ID, name, day of the week, class period, answer, etc. Okay. In your Google Sheet, you can also lock this first row so that all of your answers will always come later. I do recommend doing that. It will help you later when you're grading. So to do that, you're going to come here to View. Sorry, this is Japanese. It says Hyoji, but in English it's View. And you're going to come here to Kote, which is maybe Lock, I think, something like that. It's the second one. And you're going to select the second option, which is first row. Okay, and then that will keep your first row locked here. Now, the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to click on this thing here that says expanded functions, something like that. It's right next to help. And you're going to click on the thing that says apps script. That will load, okay, and you see that there is something here called code.js. Okay, we're not going to rename that. We're going to leave it exactly as it is. If you want, you can change the name of this project. It doesn't really matter. But let's pretend it's Speaking Homework 01. You can change the name. Okay. Let's go back to the code file that I gave you. So we have opened a new Google Sheet. We have named the main sheet Answers. Okay. We have created a apps script. Okay. We're going to copy and paste the following code into it. Okay. Do you see this from this line? Don't grab the line right underneath it from function. All the way to here, there's another line. Okay, we're going to copy it. I recommend clicking Control-C, Command-C if you're using a Mac. Okay, then back in the app script, we're going to delete all of this. Okay, and then you can press Control-V, or you can click Paste. Okay, and you can see that the code is now put here. There is one more thing we have to do. Okay, we have to tell it what Google Sheet it's going to write into. We're going to use this one here. how can I get the URL? Click on your Google Sheet. In the top here, you should see the URL. Okay, right click, click copy, and then we're going to come into the code here. It says URL. Do not delete the quotation marks. Select just the letters URL and then Control V or paste. Okay, that will leave the quotation marks and put your URL here. Okay, so that's the first part. This is the step 3. Change URL, the highlighted part in yellow. Okay, as I just showed you how to do. Now, the next part is to change the code for page.html. Okay, there's one more thing of code we have to do. First, inside of the app script, we're going to create a new HTML and we're going to name it page. The way to do that, come back to your app script. At the top it says file. There's a plus. Click on the plus. You can see you have 2 options, script or HTML. We are going to click HTML and we're just going to name it page. Okay. If you do not name it page, this will not work. Okay. For advanced users, you don't have to name it page, but if you name it something else, you have to change that here. This needs to match this. Okay. And this part here that says answers, that has to match exactly the name of your sheet here. If those do not match, it will not work. Okay, so now we're going to go to page.html. Okay, we're going to delete all of this. Okay, please go back to your document that I've given you with the code. And just like before, we're not going to get the line. We're going to get underneath it. We're going to copy and paste all of this code. Okay. Again, I recommend Control C or Command C. Okay, and we're going to paste it here. Okay. Now, the other thing that the code here recommends you doing, okay, after this, is that any of the blue highlighted places, you can change these with the words of your choice. Just if you see quotation marks, do not delete the quotation marks. So for example, this is going to be the header. This is what's going to be written at the top. So if you're teaching an advanced class and you want to write this in English instead of sensei no speaking renshu kadai, okay, you should probably change the name of this. So for example, chapter 6 speaking homework 01. Okay, whatever you like. Okay. This is a warning to the students. Right now it's in Japanese. You can put it in English if you want, but the one trick about this code is that it only works with Google Chrome. So if you are giving this assignment to your students, they need to do it through Google Chrome. Okay. Right now there is a text box where students can put in their student number. Right now it's all in Japanese, but if you want, you can change it to student number. Okay, etc., etc., etc. Okay, this is what's written in the speech box before students start speaking. Okay, this is the speak button, the stop button, the retry button, okay, and the send the answers button. You can change the names of those things as you like. Okay, and this is a pop-up box that the students get if their answers are successfully sent. Okay. There is also, you can notice here in number 4, you can replace the green highlighted place with your language code. Okay, right here it's set to United States English because that's what I speak. If you want to change it to British English, Australian English, etc., you can find the code. You can get the link here, and it will give you the codes to lots of different languages. Okay, it doesn't have to be English if you want to do it for another foreign language. But for example, this is Canadian English, the English of Ghana, from India, etc., etc. There are many kinds of Englishes, South African, Tanzanian, British, etc. If you teach a pronunciation that is more similar to another kind of English, you might consider changing that for your students. However, in Japan, I think most students learn American English, and it shouldn't change that many things. So that's what I set it to. Okay, so after you change these things, I think it's easier to change them inside the document and then copy and paste again. But if you want to, of course, you can change it right here instead of in the file. Okay, you can change it anywhere you like. But at the end of the day, if you want it to be in the code, it has to be here. Okay. So now we're going to click Save, just to save the project. Okay. The next thing we need to do is in the top right corner, click this thing that says Deploy. Okay. Right now we have a new deploy. We haven't made a deployed applet yet. Later, if you want to get the link for this again, you can click on Manage My Deploys. But right now we need to make a new deploy. So I'm going to click New Deploy. Over here on the left side, there is a gear. We're going to click it. And I want to select the top one, which is a web applet. Okay. You can call this anything you like. Okay, or speaking homework 01, whatever it is you would like to call it. Okay, very importantly, okay, you need to allow access to others, right? It's generally set on only you, but for Tohoku University, we want to set it to all Tohoku University account holders. Please be aware that students must be logged into their Tohoku University Google accounts. If they are not, they will not be able to use this applet. Okay. So once I've done that, I can click Deploy. It takes just a moment when it's making it for the first time. We'll give it just a second. Okay. It will ask you to do one thing, which is to allow access. Okay. Select your official Tohoku University account, okay, and allow access to your spreadsheet from other Tohoku University accounts. Okay, then you've got a nice URL link. Okay, it's right here. You can copy it. Okay, and this is the link that you will give to your students. Okay, and then you're finished. If you made some changes later, or if you don't remember the URL or you accidentally unclicked, you can click Deploy, Manage My Deploys. Okay, and here it is. Right now I only have one, but if you make several inside of the same spreadsheet, you'll have a list over here. And this is the URL I want to get. Okay, I'm copying it. Just to show you how it works, I'm going to open a new tab, paste this URL. And right now, because I didn't really change anything, this is what it looks like. If you change the blue words, these words will change appropriately. Okay, students can put in their student numbers, whatever it is. They can put in their name. They can put in their day that they have your class and whatever their class period is. Here, very importantly, students cannot type. The only way that they can fill in this box is by speaking. So we're going to click the Speak button. Okay, you can see this red dot here starts to blink. When it is turned on, everything that I say will be typed in this box. If I pause, it will write. If I click the Stop button, that will stop the speech. Okay, if the students are not satisfied, they can click this Retry button. Then they can have another chance at speaking. It's pretty accurate, okay, but of course if pronunciation is very bad or the speech is highly ungrammatical, that will cause the ASR to have some mistakes. Then when you're finished, you can click the Send button. Okay, this is the alert that I gave, and then you can see here that it wrote all of this in there. The date and time, the student ID, name that I gave, day of the week, class period, and the answer. Okay. So this is the way this speaking homework works. Okay. If you're a Tohoku University teacher, I'm making several very similar types of code, but ones that the way to implement them is all the same. So I'm just making one video, but the actual script that students see will be a little bit different. Of course, every time you can change it to your liking, but I will provide some of those for the various speaking homeworks in English B1s, B2 classes, etc. Okay. Again, yeah, if you want to use this for your research, you can do that. I'm working on some research with it as well, but please just be kind if you're going to cite. And I will put the link for the YouTube video here so that you can have it anytime you like. If there are any questions or you need help, if you want to change the code to match something that you're doing in your class, please feel free to contact me. I would be more than happy to help you. Thank you very much.